What is up, and welcome back to the Unfiltered Trainer podcast. Y'all, I almost can't believe I'm even saying those words because your girl kind of got herself into a situation the past couple weeks. And so if you know anything about me, I am not basic. I can't just do things simple. I'm not a simplistic kind of person. When I set out to do anything, I'm going to do it exactly the way it should or better. And because of that, I am striving to add in this video component to the podcast. And I definitely jumped the gun on that one because I had zero time to be filming these episodes. I've learned now my life has not slowed down in like 6 months. But I got different microphones because I don't just want to film some video episodes. Your girl wants to take her podcast on the road. In order to do that, I had to get a wireless mic set up. I acquired everything I needed, and somehow in switching over the recording devices, my beautiful, very nice mic that I record these podcasts on just stopped working, and I was troubleshooting it week in and week out, and nothing would record. Fun. It was always fun when you think you're recording and you find out you're not. And so I figured it all out finally, so it's refreshing to be back. I definitely have had a lot happening in my life, which I feel like is just like normal for all of us. I have been super busy as we prepare for the grand opening of the studio I am responsible for. I've been traveling a lot and I've been seeing a lot of patients. And so I really love having multiple sources of income. The fact that all of my paychecks hit within 24 hours of each other this last pay period really just reaffirmed for me that I am doing everything I should be doing. I'm exhausted because I'm fulfilled. I'm doing the most because I only can function doing the most. But I really am setting myself up for success and some personal goals I have for myself, one of which being debt-free. Coming from the world I came from and seeing how hard people in my life have had to work, I don't want to work myself into an early grave. I want to live while I'm here. And something that I am just truly confused by right now, and it's kind of sad that I'm even saying these words out loud, is that I never had balance and I didn't have the kind of flexibility I have now. And so the fact that I've made 2 trips home, I'm going home again in 2 weeks, I'm going home again in a month, then I'm going to see my brother, then we're going to Chicago to see my friend, and we're rounding out the year's trips with going to see another friend who's moving to Louisiana in New Orleans. And then I'm going to go home at the end of the year. It honestly is my ideal life. Hustle hard. Work hard, enjoy life, travel, be present in the moments for those that are important to you. And all I've wanted this entire time is to have a split life, have my life here, have my life at home, split my time between both, and be in a comfortable enough financial situation that my bills are paid, we're getting ahead, we're saving a little bit of money because that's a struggle. Like, every time I go to Target, I was there today, I am literally just like the numbers, the math says a math. I just cannot believe what things cost. It's just comical. And so just working on all of those areas the best I can, it just really resonated with me as I've had these couple weeks off from recording to really think about just how far you can come in a year. And that's kind of the preface of today's episode about taking back your power, is that in our darkest of times, the moments when we do not think we will survive, or we cannot quite see the lesson in what we are experiencing, I noticed that the calendar turned to July. And it made me remember what happened a year ago this month. And it's why we're going to talk about it in today's episode. I had allowed myself to fall so deep last year that my worth, my value, and my identity were truly intertwined with titles and situations instead of being about who I was, how I lived my life. And I got really caught up in what was happening around me, what I was allowing to happen to me. And because my biggest fear in life is financially related, I had stayed longer in situations that I truly had no business being in. And I knew that, but I was just too afraid to walk away, especially walking away from a job that I spent so much time in school for to like not be full-time was something that I knew needed to happen, but I had no idea how the hell I was going to make it happen. Let's be honest. And so when things kind of went the way they went, towards July, when I started having panic attacks at work, which was just mind-blowing to me, I started applying to jobs because I knew then that I was not living a purpose-driven, fulfilled life, and that I was not where I was valued or accepted. And I was kind of like in this monotonous cycle. Like I wasn't being pushed. I wasn't learning. I wasn't growing. I was actually just like existing. And there's nothing worse than just existing in life. And so I'd gotten a lot of really good offers, but I just hadn't found the right one. And so I stayed longer than I would have liked. It affected me more than I would have liked to admit. And I really just became a victim. I really just became sad and fixated on my sadness. And even though I was secretly taking steps to get out of the situation, because I was still having to deal with it every day, I was really fixated on that phase of my life in that season. And so it wasn't until the accident and I was spending a lot of time at home as I was recovering that I realized what a weak ass individual I had become. And truly, like I talk about all the time, like telling my friends, be a boss ass bitch. Like truly be the kind of person that you can be proud of. Hustle as hard as you can. Work for the things you want. Be a genuinely good human being. And good things will happen to you. You know, that's what I've always lived by. Like, I can outwork them all. You know, people want to talk shit. Like, let them talk shit. What are they going to talk shit about? She's a hard worker. Like, she's doing the most. Like, let them. If people want to talk shit, let them talk shit, you know? But those rules I live by, I wasn't exactly benefiting at the time from what I know I deserved. And it's funny because as people notice these changes in me and I have a different aura around me, those actionable things I was doing did not compound into what you see today until a year later. And it made me think about how many people want instant satisfaction, like instant gratification. You start a new job and you want things now. You want things yesterday, honestly, in this country. This is the drive-through nation, as I call it. People want things within seconds. God forbid it takes minutes. People really struggle with the idea that you may be qualified, but you need to earn your position. You may acquire a position, but you need to keep earning that position. And I feel like people really struggle in understanding that they think things are owed to them or their dues have been paid. But it took me a full year of going through what we're going to talk about in this podcast, staying the course. Didn't really believe it at times. You know, that's, I feel like, why it took so long to get to the point you see today, to get to the point of truly feeling just like a boss-ass human being. And I say all of this to kind of give you the foundation for which when you see me now, especially for the new people that meet me, you're walking in on a very stable chapter. Those that had to endure the very sad reality that was my life last year did not see this. They saw a very broken version of me. And as cliche as it sounds, and there's going to be several cliches in today's episode, I feel like it's going to be a little woo-woo. I really did have to be broken in order to be put back together. And it really makes me think of puzzles. And these are the moments where, like, I admit to my nerd status. I love doing puzzles. But when I would get pissed off doing a puzzle, I would force pieces into spots because they almost 97% fit. But if something doesn't align 100%, body, mind, and soul, you know it's off. Same with the puzzle. You know it's not exactly correct, but it's good enough. Last year, life was good enough, but that's not how I want to live my life. I want to do the most. I want to be a good, kind-hearted person who is empathetic, who's compassionate, who's understanding, who can give people the grace that they wish that they would receive. I don't want to lose those traits about me. But I also don't ever want to accept, endure, or repeat some of the scenarios of last year. And so the reason why I'm different is because I have formulated a system into taking back my power. I got tired of my own bullshit. I got tired of complaining. I got tired of hearing myself. I got tired of coming home and plopping on the couch and literally just like being a recluse and not going out into society because XYZ, like the struggles were real and I allowed it to exist a lot longer than it needed to. And so in order to make this transition, because this is a journey, I told you cliches are coming. This really is going to be a journey. There are 4 key things that if you are not where you want to be at, you're not happy in your job, you're not happy in your friendships, you're not happy in your relationships, here's what you need to do, in my opinion. Obviously, it's my podcast, but it's an opinion. And these are going to be a little bit honest. This is called the Unfiltered Trainer for a reason. So you should not be surprised at this point that we talk about topics that are taboo, that, come with a lot of people that are like, oh my God, I can't believe she said that. Oh my God, I can't believe she talked about that. And then you get like 10 messages of people that have also dealt with similar struggles and say, thank you for being public about it. It's comical, this life. Everybody has a freaking opinion. But the first thing you need to do when you want to take back your power is to stop giving it away. Let that sit for a second. If you want to be powerful, you have to stand in your truth. You have to be authentically you. There's a need to be vulnerable in certain circumstances, but not if you can succumb to other people's opinions and you change who you are. Because becoming powerless doesn't happen in an instant. The weak-ass version of myself last year that I allowed people to pick away at, and I allowed people's opinions to change who I was and change what I thought about myself, it didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen solely because of them. I had a hand in what was happening to me. I allowed it. Becoming powerless doesn't happen overnight. So when you're looking at circumstances or situations or relationships that you're not happy with, and you're like, well, that person made me feel this way. Well, why did you let them make you feel that way? People can't make you feel any sort of way unless you allow them, unless you give value to what they're doing to you. And so the first thing is as simple as that, but it's not simple. It's actually quite freaking difficult, is to stop giving away your power. Once you understand that, then we're going to build. The second thing you need to understand and do is examine why it feels so good to be a victim. There are people, and I've experienced this here in Tampa, that love to be the victim. They love to be the martyr. They love to make it their whole personality. Because when you're the victim, people pay attention to you. When you're talking about people, sadly, people pay attention to you. And people love attention. They love to cause drama. They love to stir things up. They love to talk shit. But the reality is, and I will die by this, and this should probably be put on my grave, people that talk about you are always doing less than you. I've never met somebody doing more than me that was talking about me. Do you know why? Because those of us crazy enough to do the most don't have freaking time. We don't have time. Like, I'm never going to start a conversation with, oh, hey, did you hear about so-and-so? Or, oh, hey, did you hear who so-and-so's with? Why? We're so freaking old. Like, I'm way too freaking old to be getting screenshots of people talking shit about me in 2024. Like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, examine why it feels good to be a victim and use that as the catalyst for which step number 3 comes into play. In order to take back your power, You have to define and develop your core sense of self. If you don't know who you are, what you want to achieve in life, where you're going, or your core beliefs, how are you supposed to be a powerful person? You'll so easily be affected by others because you can't stand on your own 2 feet because you don't know who you are. And if you don't know who you are, you're not whole on your own. And if you're not whole on your own, you're going to be broken down every single time something goes awry or something leaves your life. We get stuck in phases. We get stuck in seasons of life. And something that's really important, and we should probably put this on like a t-shirt, maturity is a decision. If you don't like circumstances, situations, or people, or how they're handling things in your life, maturity is a decision. You can either speak up, which I tend to do, and it's not always well received, but if I'm saying something, people should know by now, if I'm speaking up on something, it's because 1, I know I'm right, and 2, it's because I stand in what's always right. I have stood up for people time and time again who are not the popular person, who are, sometimes the person that's being bullied, unfortunately. I will always stand up for what's right, even if I'm the only person standing next to that person. But maturity is a decision, and you really are the author of your own story. I told you guys, cliches, but it's the freaking truth. You are writing your own story. You are writing the blueprint for your life and your future. And if you continue to entertain this bullshit, you are going to be this modified version of yourself. And to me, it's terrifying to think that if I stayed in the place I was last year, I would have never achieved my highest potential for this phase of my life. And I would just be continuing to repeat scenarios and cycles that didn't serve me. So once you understand who you are, what you're looking to accomplish, how you're going to get there, and the morals and values of which you will not bend on, it gets a lot easier to do this next step, which is to align yourself with the flow of personal growth and development. In order to make that happen and establish your core sense of belief and values, you really have to understand where your path is going to unfold and understand where you're going to go in your life. Once you have an idea, because let me tell you something, you could have every freaking proper plan, spreadsheet, diagram in place, and life's going to happen to you. Sometimes it happens for you. But when you know that general sense of self, you're going to be guided down a direction, and it's going to be hard. And I'm going to tell you, something I'm learning is that you can't take everybody with you. You're going to have to leave people behind. You're going to have to leave people who are not ready to elevate their quality of life. You might pick them back up later down the road, but this phase and this whole journey we're going on, y'all, is hard because you have to align yourself with the kind of people you want to become, not the kind of people that you have to defend. Oh, they're really a good person. Oh, they didn't really mean it. No. Y'all, we have limited time on this earth. Do not waste it in scenarios, situations, or relationships that don't serve you, that don't give you some type of reciprocal energy, effort. You should be proud of who you're with, what you do, and how you conduct yourself. And you can't be that if you're handling catty people that are constantly talking about people, it's just so mind-blowing to me that grown adults feel so comfortable speaking on other people's names. But taking back your power requires you taking ownership of your life. It requires you saying, hey, I did wrong to that person. Hey, I didn't do the best job I could have done. Hey, that didn't really align with who I was. Being able to progress from knowing where you're allowing your energy to go, where you're kind of probably giving a little too much life to that's not serving you. And then once you know your path, you go into what I've now been doing, which is these 5 tangible tips and tools. And this is where that happiness comes from. This is why people feel as if I'm doing better. I seem happier. That's coming from these 5 key metrics. So once I got over my own bullshit, I got tired of myself, honestly. I got tired of being a freaking sad ass human being, let's be honest. And I did these 4 things. I created a list of where I was going and what I was going to accomplish. This podcast was on that list. Expanding my charity organization was on that list. Having a job with an opportunity to grow and move up and have more responsibility and make more of an impact was on that list. And then I wanted to expand my knowledge base and my reach, which last week, which is so crazy to say, I sat on a meeting with a global company for a partnership. And it is literally everything I've wanted to do with all of the skills and traits and things I'm good at and all of my interests. And it's all coming together. It's not going to happen until 2025. That's how long this stuff takes to plan. But the fact that a global company saw what I was putting out into the world and said, hey, we want her to represent us. Y'all, I thought it was a scam. I literally sat on that video chat waiting, thinking no one was going to be on the other side. Like imposter syndrome was roaring. And then they start laying it all out for me. And I'm just sitting there thinking like, holy shit. Can we go back in time and tell that sad ass individual crying on the couch, like, if you could only see yourself in 1 freaking year, like boss up, because it's coming, Gina, it's coming. You always have the best intentions, questionable outcomes, because, that's just life sometimes. But I do always have a good heart. I do always try to do my best. I do try to lead from the front and help as many people as possible. And that is being recognized. And all I can think about is how many people give up on things because they think something's due for them. They think they've earned it. They think that, oh, this should be given to me. A freaking year. A year of this relentless pursuit of establishing my power and who I was, reorganizing my goals, honestly, and then writing a different path for myself. And then slowly taking the steps to go down that path to keep progressing forward. A freaking year, guys. So how do you make this happen? How do you freaking do a whole 360 in your life? Like, how do you take yourself from a sad ass individual to a boss ass bitch? 5 simple things, guys. I promise you it's not going to be complicated. If you want to level up, if you want to be a better version of yourself, a better partner, you want to change careers, you want to expand in your career. Maybe you want to continue your career and pursue a different avenue of an interest. The first thing you have to do is expand your knowledge and your intelligence. And I feel like this is the one that where the most time is going to be spent. I knew I wanted to do a podcast like 5 freaking years ago, but I was too afraid, too afraid of everybody was going to have an opinion. Would people resonate well with what I said? Like, God forbid I drop an F-bomb. We all know how much I love that word. Like, I wanted to be everybody's cup of tea. And I've learned in my adult phase that you can't. And so in order for a podcast to be example, I researched the shit out of this. Software, microphones, supporting software, podcasts. Listen to so many freaking podcasts. Like, I wanted to do this and do it well. And I wanted to do it well from the beginning. Obviously, done is better than perfect. However, have you met me? Anytime you want to do something, there's going to be a required amount of research. You really have to improve your intelligence level about that topic before you can truly speak on it, without, like, no pun intended. But if you want to do something, you have to establish the knowledge foundation for it, like the basis of knowledge that you need. And then you need to level up in the intelligence sector and become somebody that is a professional in that area. And in order to do those 2 things, you have to expand your belief system. And fun fact, and it's a hard thing in the particular place that I live, just because we believe something doesn't make it fact. It's our lifestyle. It's our choices. It's our beliefs. You can't stay stuck in the person you were a year ago if you're trying to change. You have to open up your mind, open up your heart, and expand your belief system. It takes time. It takes trial and error. The second thing, once you've done this, Because anytime you get smarter, you acquire a new skill, a new certification, a new degree, a new job, a new title, and you realize just how freaking hard it is, you then have step 2, which is compassion and forgiveness for yourself and others. Something I have learned time and time again is how not fun being the boss is. Fun fact, it's not. Being in charge of your peers, not fun at all. Don't recommend it, but it's necessary, There has to be somebody in charge. But being a leader is really freaking hard because there's a lot of expectations from a lot of different avenues. You have expectations for yourself and your staff. You want everybody to like you and respect you so that you have to lead from the front by working and doing the most. But then there's an accountability level when you are the boss. And y'all, it's really hard. And sometimes it brings me to tears because I never want to make anybody feel bad. Even if they're not doing their job. I don't want to make you feel bad when I'm telling you that you're not doing your job. It's something that I'm expanding my intelligence and knowledge about in my belief system because I'm learning how to work in different scenarios because this isn't the only job. I don't have just one job where I am kind of the head honcho. I run in I'm building a whole charity organization and I'm having a lot of conversations behind the scenes. And because something is important to me and I'm passionate about it, I also have to be respectful of the fact that people take a really long time to get back to you because this isn't their goal, And we want to expedite things, but that requires a lot of patience. And so the second thing you have to do is have compassion and forgiveness. Compassion for maybe you did speak ill of somebody in a different role and now you're in that role and maybe now you understand. Or maybe just you need to have forgiveness for yourself for being so freaking hard on yourself. I beat myself up last year. I had a freaking brain injury and I was disappointed in my lack of success, my lack of financial stability, my lack of accomplishments last year. Bro, I couldn't even read. When I would write, I was dyslexic. I was not well last year and I'm still recovering from this damn injury. But I was so freaking hard on myself. And for what? So learn to have compassion and forgiveness for others. But you need to have it for yourself. Because in order to get to the next step, you have to have that first. The third thing you need to do, if you're ready, is to freaking embrace epiphanies. This is where it's going to get a little woo-woo, but roll with me here, okay? There have been moments over the last few months where I am walking or I'm at a store getting something or I'm writing a document up for work and it just clicks. And it's the most magnificent, wild moment. One was happening the other day when I was walking down the street. I was vibing to my music, dancing, just being my weird ass self down the street. And I thought to myself, this is what happiness feels like. Genuine happiness. I don't know the last time I was that happy in my life. Not because of other people being around, not because I'm with family, just with myself. And it was an epiphany that I realized that is what happens when you're where you're supposed to be. That is what happens when you wholeheartedly are pursuing what you're meant to pursue. You're aligned with the right people, the right environments, the right situations. You have the right support system. That's what happens when you belong and you're in alignment of where you're supposed to be at. Happiness is a natural thing. But when you're battling your entire existence and environment, you're going to be unhappy. So embrace the epiphanies, embrace the aha moments, embrace those moments of intuition. Y'all, trust your freaking intuition. Seriously. We could have a whole podcast about that, honestly. Maybe we will one day. But trust your intuition because it's telling you things. Or when you don't feel right about someone or a situation, or something's telling you oh, this is how something's being done, but it should be done this way. I've never been wrong with my gut. Trust your intuition, embrace the epiphanies, and then get freaking ready because step 4 requires commitment. You are going to devote your existence to now stepping into your freaking power and following the path you have laid out for yourself. Because when you do this and you are ready, you pull your shoulders back. You stand a little taller. You stop saying sorry so goddamn much. You own who you are and you're not apologetic about it. And then you keep freaking doing it every single day. You know who you are. You know the effort. You know what you're doing. You know you're a boss ass bitch. You know exactly what you set out to accomplish. You know the effort. You know the integrity you lead with. Why the hell are you questioning if you belong or if you're worthy? Y'all, how many freaking days and years have we wasted questioning our value, our worth, our existence because somebody else? Hail to the no, y'all. Like we done. I'm too old for this shit anymore, y'all. I'm done. I know exactly what I've been through. I know exactly where I'm going. I don't know when I'm going to get there. I just know I'm going to do the steps. I'm going to commit. I'm going to devote myself to being the best version of myself, to giving back in any way I possibly can, to finding ways to truly invest in my community. And I'm going to keep scaling my life. And I'm never going to be content because content is boring. And I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to be boring. I'm trying to live a life where I make an income that is directly aligned with the impact that I'm making. And we ain't even close to where I want to be. And the final step in all of this, once you understand the knowledge base, once you've established compassion and forgiveness, once you've started listening to that little voice inside of you, once you've started doing the work and you haven't let up, the fifth and final thing is the most beautiful thing in all of this. You get to live. Because no matter what, you know in your soul, your existence, you're going to get there. We don't know the day. We don't know the hour. We don't need to. You're going to get there. So in the meantime, as you pursue this journey of taking back your freaking power, live your life. That has been the most refreshing thing, is that I'm living day by day. Sometimes it's hour by hour when I get a little stressed out, y'all. Not going to lie. But it's day by day. Every day I have a to-do list because of my brain. It's every single hour listed out what I need to do because I can't remember anything still. I write out by priority what needs done. I love checking things off. So much satisfaction. I do what I can do to the quality I know I can do. Some days I'm sitting pretty. Some days, some of those tasks have to get pushed to another day. But I have a path, I have a plan, and I execute that plan to the best of my abilities that day. And that's what's important. In order to live your life, there must be flexibility. Things are going to come up. Opportunities to go have dinner. Opportunities to go to charity events. Tomorrow, I cannot wait. If you follow me on social media, cannot wait to tell you guys where I'm going. Wait till you see where I get to go tomorrow. I'm so freaking excited. But those are the moments where I know I could be working, but I'm going to clock out and I'm going to go to this event I got to go to because this is going to be fulfilling for me. Everything you do does not have to be aligned with a goal. Everything you do does not have to have some deeper seated meaning, does not have to be overly emotional or overly intense. Sometimes it's as simple as putting your life on pause and taking a walk. Working out. I'm about to go take a freaking nap after I publish this, y'all. I'm freaking tired. I am learning to embrace living my life so that I'm not so focused on the end game that I'm disappointed in the journey to get there. It's nothing crazy, y'all. Nothing serious, nothing intense. This is not complicated. It's simple. Live your life amongst your journey to get to these desired outcomes so that you can be fulfilled when you get there. Instead of washing your hands of it and being like, all right, I'm done. If you take this journey and you enjoy the journey as much as you enjoy the end game outcome, you'll never stop striving for more because you'll continue to expand your beliefs. You'll continue to align yourself with others who inspire and empower you, and your path will never stop unfolding. And that, my friends, is why I seem so happy and I seem so much better, is because I am where I'm supposed to be. It's not easy, but it's a hell of a lot better than where I was a year ago. So whether you're killing it in life or you're in a season of struggle, just know, even the most put together people, the people you think are boss-ass, badass bitches, they too are in seasons and phases of life. Embrace where you're at, know in your heart where you're going, and when you do get there and you achieve those really amazing goals, send me a DM and let me know. I would love to shout you out. Y'all, that's all I got for you today. As always, stay tuned and we will chat